What's up with it, guys? Good day to you. Hopefully your morning's been treating you well. And I've been thinking recently about perspective whenever it comes to the physical aspect of our our world or our own personal realities or our point of views or however you want to say it. And I've begun to realize that I just got shot by a teammate. But I've begun to realize uh that I've begun to realize the reason there is so much confusion and misunderstandings in our world. And I'm realizing it's because, of course, perspective, whenever it comes to anything of the physical, it's it changes based on perspective. So to me, well, to me, so I have an issue with comparing myself to the best of each physical attribute. So, for example, if, the highest jumper or the strongest weightlifter, or I mean, it's, I'm gonna say it's bad to say, but it's just the truth, or like the most blessed man, if you follow, or or the best video game player, or the best, all these things that really ultimately don't matter. But I'm realizing that each and every one of us, because we have a different perspective, we all experience a different reality. We all experience a different life. We all experience a different world because, of course, if I'm sitting here and I'm focusing on, let's say a muscle car comes by, I'm focusing on the sound, I'm focusing on how fast it's going, but you could be focusing on the paint job or the rims. Oh, I'm so sorry. But, and I'm realizing more and more, it's like because of these misunderstandings, we all are always at each other's throats instead of realizing that everybody could be telling the truth. But because of misunderstandings, we attack each other or we view it all as lies or manipulation or whatever the case may be. And I think that right there is a very big issue with today's world or this moment in time that we're in. Probably deserve that. I think that was the one I shot on accident. Ooh wee. And of course, but I'm realizing that misunderstandings is our biggest problem. It's something that needs to be addressed because if it doesn't, we are going to continue to get worse as people, as a species, as can I hit that? No, I can't. Shit. Oh, shit. Oh. At least I avoided that, I guess. But because of misunderstanding, you lose people, where'd he go? But no, because of misunderstanding, it's like we'll lose those closest to us, or we will push people away, or we'll just react differently than what people are used to. And that right there is it's definitely a problem. It's something that needs to be figured out and changed. But I'm also realizing more and more that people people have difficulty changing. People struggle to change. People don't want to change usually. People are okay with how they are, but they don't realize that their actions has consequences and that eventually those consequences will those consequences will what's the word flow over into your life. So for example, you smoke a cigarette or two, you try it, you're not gonna really have, oh yeah, oh sure camps a lot over there. Like how was that fun? Nice gun though. Definitely has a good setup. A little spray and pray method. But it's like people don't change, and even if people want to change, they're unable to. And that right there is something I'm interested in because I've studied human psychology. I've come across many people. I've talked to many people, and it's like people will be able to see that they need to change and they see that something is wrong, but for some reason they can't do nothing about it. And I, me personally, I found a way to change for the positive, and I know what I what I say is true. I know that I've changed for the better in my life. I've been able to gain peace. I've been able to have a sound heart, even if I could be going through the hardest times, I'm still able to push through for the better. And then also, like I said before, it's like I'm protected in a way now to where I'm no longer a victim of karma, but I'm a acquirer of grace or a beneficiary of grace. And of course, that doesn't mean I go out and I just do what I want to do. Like I try to be aware of my actions. I try to be aware of how my actions impact others. I try to be aware of what my what reaction my action will cause. And for me, like the most pivotal turning point in my story was when I committed to the belief that the Christ Jesus came, died, and was resurrected. Now, I do not believe that he came, well, yeah, I don't believe he came to be worshiped, and I don't believe he came to pay the price for us. I think they changed that way people people would get comfortable with who they were and people wouldn't seek change and they would get stuck in life or stuck without change or whatever the case may be. But if you actually listen to what Christ says, he talks about repentance, talks about change, talks about becoming a new creation. Becoming new by transforming your mind, by changing your perception of reality. Ooh, I know he's mad. I'm hearing a lot of gunshots over here. Uh-huh. Oh, come on back. Please? No? What about this side? Oh, damn. But, and of course, I also believe that growth is never ending, especially if you do it right. Like, you should never get comfortable and never stop. But also in today's world, it's like we're comfortable with being uncomfortable. We get used to the hardships that we deal with or the traumas. and we think that's just the norm, and I don't believe that's the case. I know that's not the case because change is possible. I swear, this new trend of these shotgun users is the most annoying thing ever. But we've been put into this, we're in this system where they promote comfort. Like, oh no, if you're hot, get AC. Cold, get heat. If you're not paying attention, you get shot in the face. Um, but people are failing, people are falling short of reaching their potential. People are falling short of being able to grow. And that's why I like to say, that's why I'm hoping that my perception of my own life will be able to help you connect dots in your own walk. Again, all of us view reality differently. All of us experience our lives differently. But we we're, we're failing to realize that there is a deep level of misunderstanding that's coming with it. And that because of that, we are falling short. We are missing the mark that our Father in heaven wants us to hit. We're missing our potential. We're not experiencing life like we're supposed to be. And I can tell you, I've experienced unimaginable things. I've experienced changes in my physical life and my consciousness. Like I've begun to hold on. I've begun to change and alter my beliefs, and I've begun to become more open about what I'll accept and what I will listen to in comparison to when I was younger. I was like, "Oh, I know everything." And I think that's what every teenager says, every young adult says, it's they know it all. They've experienced it all. They know more than their parents, they know more than their grandparents, like, and I do believe that for a certain point there are some kids who they do they see the truth differently just because they have been brainwashed by life, by the propaganda, by the government, by by the system, or the matrix is usually how I refer to it as. But we have to learn to get past our misunderstandings, which also a big thing now that I think was intentional, but because of cell phones, people can't communicate no more. People can't talk without feeling attacked or feeling blown up. Like that was a big thing with the company I used to work for, is that they couldn't handle correction without feeling like they were getting attacked. And I was like, man, that's not the case. Like, how you expect to grow if you don't get corrected? Because nobody knows everything. Everybody has something valuable to add to the story, but yet we will die on the hill that we know it all. We'll die on the hill that we know what's best for us, which is false 9 times out of 10. And again, I'm not saying that you don't know some truth or you haven't experienced some form of realization or you haven't come to the point of where you've had a life lesson kind of hit you to where like, huh, why didn't I think of that? Because most people, I mean, like I say, most people aren't growing. But for us as a whole, we need to change. We need to figure out what the problem is and It's like no one cares to do that anymore. No one wants to do that anymore. Everybody's comfortable being uncomfortable. And like for me, I I could never be that person because I've been through a great deal. And even though I've only been here for 27 years, I've experienced a lot of hurt, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of letdowns, like, and that's all because my perception has been different than everyone else's. And I mean, again, I think it's natural. I think misunderstandings and, these events that lead to our character growth are of utmost importance. But there comes a time where we get to the point to where we harden our hearts, we'll harden our perception, we'll stop accepting certain things just because we think we know best, or we're tired of being hurt. That's a big one. Tired of tired of being hurt. That's a lot. Look at there, man. That's a good game. If I ain't never seen it. And like I say, it's as if people no skill, but it's like people. Like I said, people are comfortable with being uncomfortable. There's something my dad used to say, and it's dang. Let me find it. It's dang of it. Well, it goes along the lines of it's unusual, or it's amazing what people can get used to, and that's what it seems like. It seems like everybody in this modern day system is just used to suffering, and because of that, they're like, "Oh, why do I need to change? I'm used to it. I'm done." They would rather pick the familiar bad than go out and try the unfamiliar good. They'd rather settle for what they know instead of take a chance on something better. And that right there is just a very, I don't know, it's just, to me, it's not ignorant, but it's almost like that. It's like just because we don't know there's a better option, we'll settle for the what option that we have. And that's why I'm trying to help wake people up, help push people towards the truth. Just like the scripture says, the truth will set us free, and that is very true. That is a undeniable fact that I can say I have experienced, and that I will die on that hill. Is the truth will set you free if you're open to accepting it and if you apply it. And that's why back to what I was saying, like when it comes to what Jesus Christ preached, it was more than just, have faith on him and you'll be saved. Like I think the faith on him is kind of like how you buy back your way into the kingdom of the Father, because we're born into the kingdom of the flesh. We are born in this flesh and we are slaves to the flesh. We're slaves to our desires, we're slaves to our attachments, and we have to learn to detach from the physical reality and attach to the spiritual reality. And I believe that, or I know that once you accept the resurrection and you begin to repent from yourself, you begin to love others as you love yourself, and you begin to move differently, you will experience a very different reality. You will start to see the world differently. You start to see and experience the colors differently. You'll start to hear sounds more vividly. You'll just you'll essentially go into a whole new reality. And of course, like you might say, like, oh, that's crazy. We're all living the same reality. And if you think that, then well, you are very far behind. And I mean, I think there's hope for everybody, but most people don't really even have hope anymore. And that right there is a big problem. And that's why I think Christ came to tell us that, yeah, there is hope. There is a way to change. There's ways to grow. There's ways to conquer this physical reality, but you have to do the internal work. You have to seek first the kingdom of heaven that's within, and you have to change. You have to push towards growth, push towards love, push towards unity, understanding, patience, grace. There's all these different things all these different qualities and virtues that are no longer in the world that used to just be common sense. Like it was common sense to not cuss around kids or not smoke around kids and not do certain things around children, but now it's like, oh, it's cool. That's what we do. That's the norm. And it's like, man, no, it's not. It's far from it. But we're okay. We're used to we're used to our own suffering as children. So we just like, "Oh, okay, that's just what's gonna happen." Most people, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's definitely not a good thing. But most people buy kids what they weren't bought. I believe that people, or I know that people should we should teach kids what we weren't taught. Very different, very different outcome. Again, most kids, they might have all this stuff, but they're crap humans. They're crap people. And it's like, oh, I don't know why it is. We buy them this, we give them that, it's like, no, you're doing it wrong. You're missing the mark. You're missing the point. Ooh, that was a good shot. And again, you don't have to believe me. But I mean, shit. I've been raising kids or helping raise kids since I was 5. That's something I've done very quickly in my conception to this world. I had to take care of my 2 younger siblings because I wasn't 5. My apologies. I was probably like 8 just because I really am. But I had to watch over them, had to take care of them, had to look out for them because I had a stepdad who was their dad who had anger issues. And when he lost his cool, my mom was going to get it. And I don't mean like light stuff, like he broke her ribs, he fractured her jaw, like they both have attempted murder charges on us. Her because she tried to bash his head in with a snow globe and he had a knife. Or vice versa. It was vice versa. My apologies. But and see like that right there, like admitting that we're wrong and that we can be wrong. That's another big thing that I think us as people need to learn to step back into. Is how can you ever learn more if you don't admit that you were wrong? You're always right, then there's never nothing more to learn. And right there, you're failing because we are here to learn. We are here to grow. We are here to change. We are here to become spiritually different. And look, there I am. Yeah, even when I'm losing, I'm in the kill cam. But we're we're sent to this realm to learn duality, good and bad, light and dark, and to make a choice on which master we're going to serve. We're going to serve ourselves like the fallen angels, or we're going to serve the Most High Father, which is the source of all, which is what's natural to us. That's what's easy to us. That's why you feel so hurt, you feel broken, you feel lost, you feel discouraged, you feel defeated, you feel, you know, all these different negative emotions, and you just because you don't realize you're going against your purpose, you're going against the current. Because of course, yeah, in today's reality, it's promoted to be comfortable. It's promoted to you're fine how you are. You don't need to change. And it's like, no, they tell you that because they don't want you to grow. Because if you grow, you become a threat to their system. you become a inconvenience to their plan, and they don't want us to acknowledge what power we really have. They don't want you to feel the unbelievable surge of energy that you get when you're being used by the Father. Or they don't want you to experience that you see colors more vividly when you come to certain realizations about the physical reality. Or they don't want you to have actual peace or an actual sound mind. They don't want that. That's well, that's interesting. That's kind of a map that just popped into my mind before. Never mind. Again, like it's all personal. It's all you. Same thing like everybody. Like my salvation can't help my siblings, can't help my eventual wife, can't help my eventual kids, can't help my friends. But like I say, I know that what I am experiencing is true. I know that I've seen the difference of me without Christ and me with Christ. I know that I was once broken and now I'm whole. I know that I was once lost and now I'm found. I know that I've grown into a different, not a different being, but the core of like, because of course you don't, the core of who you are is the exact same. You're not going to lose that because that's you. But you lose all the other things, all these attachments that's not who you're supposed to be. They're, they're beliefs that were taught to us by our environments, wherever we grew up in. Whenever those traumas happened when you were a child, or whenever you don't even have been a child, but you're still a child. We're all children in the eyes of the Father. And whenever you hit a trauma, it's like you stop growing in that perspective or that, damn, but you stop growing in that specific lesson. And of course, there's multiple lessons that we must learn. There's multiple things that we have to or that we're supposed to experience before we leave here. But if you don't experience them, and if you don't learn it, and if you don't learn to have a heart that's as light as a feather and have a conscience that's clear, you're going to come back. I believe that with every fiber of my being. Because I also believe I've seen people, I've known a lot of people, and there's some people who just seem a little bit behind the curve, or maybe I'm a little ahead of it. But either way, there's a difference. Everybody isn't born here onto the exact same starting point. Everybody is physically, spiritually, or consciously, however you want to say it, we're different. We are we're here to make a change, make a positive impact, and to alter and push this reality for the better. But again, most people they don't want to hear that. Most people don't want to hear that I mean you get what you earn. That is a very like people understand that even if they aren't following the father's guidelines. Oh, give me that kill cam. Maybe. But we all don't even realize it's like there's so much proof that there's a creator to this universe. It's not even funny. Like you think it's just a coincidence that every person has the inept design to worship something. Every person, everyone you'll ever meet, they worship something. I don't know what it is. It could be drugs, could be women, could be men, could be money. A lot of it's money for y'all. I mean, let's go and call it what it is. Most of y'all are chasing off of that dollar. Why? Because I don't know. Y'all are idiots, in my opinion. What the hell? What room is this? Oh, look at there. Unlocked a new part of the map. Oh. I got cocky. Getting cocky always get you screwed over. But we we all worship something. We all chase after something, but we're all chasing after the wrong things. We're all worshiping the wrong thing. And I mean, of course, I'm not going to say like sin is a very misunderstood topic that we fail to realize it's our own state of ignorance that causes us go in there. But it's our own state of ignorance that causes us to fall short of the Father's purpose because we don't know, like I say, we weren't taught differently. We weren't guided correctly. And like even me, okay, so my father, starting when he was young, he was selling drugs. He had to go to prison for no, I don't think he went to prison, but shot somebody. He's had a bunch of different baby mamas. He had a hard upbringing. Like it wasn't easy. Same thing like my mom. My mom was from Chicago. My mom is, she was on her own at 15. She was taken advantage of by multiple men at a very young age. She she had a very hard start to her story to the point where now she's broken, she's lost, she's hurting, she's confused, she's alone, she's misunderstood. And then, of course, you ask her, everybody's the problem. She don't have a problem, and that's what everybody says. Everybody says they don't have a problem. Everybody else has the problem. And I was like, man, that's stupidity. That doesn't even make sense. It's like, no, if everybody else is the problem, then what do you do? Nah, I can't. Hmm. But if everybody else is the problem, how? So glad I killed him. If everybody else is the problem, how do we, how do we grow? Where does growth come from if everybody else is the problem? Hmm. And like again, if you don't believe that, then don't let the door hit you on the way out. But I know from my experience that it's true. We are the problem. I am the problem. I need to change in order to experience the life that I want, the life that I'm supposed to have, the life that fulfills me. Again, even me doing this, like this right here, 3 years ago, I never would have seen myself doing this. 3 years ago, I had severe anxiety about talking on anything electronic because of it being attached to my insecurity not being able to talk to a girl when I was a kid. It was attached to a trauma. And I had to, through my walk with Christ, I had to push through it. And now I'm at a point to where I just recently lost my job. Right at a point to where it was divine timing. It wasn't me. I was learning, I was changing, and then one thing led to another. They asked me how I felt. They wanted the truth. So I told them it. And then, a few days later, I was still being used by, talking to other people, telling people the truth, what's the word, counseling with people. And then, yeah, I got texted by my boss. He was like, hey, can't do it. You got to find you another job, blah, blah, blah. And then and I was happy. It was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. And then, of course, that's how this universe works. It'll test to see if you truly want what you claim. So I missed one day of work. Next day, texted me a time to show up at his house. Start, again, I worked in construction, did drywall, framing, flooring. I used to do tile, carpentry. Apparently, I used to do all of it now, but I started off in tile, then I went to that job, which was what everything else I'm saying. Painting, damn near if you name it, we done it. Roofing, whole on additions, like we done it all. Concrete work, like I busted my tail over the years for that company. and I never felt appreciated. I was more of like how they are in the NBA, like don't talk, play basketball. Like that's how it was. So my child's like, oh, you're not here to think. Oh, what the heck? You're back? Yeah, okay. I think I disconnected for a second. But I was told to. I didn't need to think. I just needed to work. And to me, that right there it's just not good leader tendencies. Because a good leader it takes everybody's advice, takes everybody's opinion, takes everybody's strengths, and they can push them towards the greater good. And like I'm not saying like this man is one of the best men I've ever come across. Best intentions, best, he helps in the ways that he knows how. So I'm not knocking him. It's just a state of he he got comfortable with certain things. He got comfortable with being, with relying on. I mean, honestly, he got comfortable on relying on just having faith instead of having the work too. We got to do the works. We have to change. We have to grow. We have to become different to see different. And most people, like I say, they don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They don't want that. But for you, the one who's listening, who's tired, tired of being hurt, tired of being tired, spiritually tired. I'm talking physically tired. You're gonna be physically tired your whole entire existence. It only gets more tiring as you get older. But spiritually tired, you can't last that way. You can't grow that way. You can't. You're not going to be able to reap the benefits of your life if you continue to make excuses for yourself because you know you can do it. You just won't. You know you can, but you don't want to. I thought my teammate was the one who was shooting. Yeah, that was my fault for sure. But again, it's what I say, what I know, what I experience. It ain't for everybody. And not gonna say I don't care, because I do. I love each and every one of you more than you could ever realize. And you're like, oh, how can you love someone you don't know? 'Cause I understand you. I've I'm I've been there. I'm here. I'm playing the game with you. We're all connected. That's the message that Jesus preached most. Is to love one another as you love yourself and to love your God. And you do that, like that's the greatest commandment of them all. That trumps the old law. But we still need to follow the law just because it's how we were designed to play the game. That's the rules of the game. If you steal stuff, your consciousness is going to hit you. It's going to let you know that you're you're missing the mark. Your conscience will let you know that your heart's heavy. And eventually you have to harden your heart. You have to shut it off. And we can't live that way because our heart is a director to this game. That is the way we know which way to go. We know who we know to love. But our hearts are in a fallen state to where we can't trust them anymore. We can't grow because we would rather complain, make excuses instead of change and grow up. 'Cause, yeah, I firmly believe we're all kids. We are all children who need to be corrected. But again, you have to want to be corrected. You have to want to grow. You have to want to change. And yeah, most of y'all don't. You're gonna cry, you're gonna complain about how hard your life has been. But I can guarantee you, if we sat down and had a conversation about how hard life has been, I promise you, you would lose that battle. Because like I say, man, like I've been through things that I know 40, 50-year-olds have never been through. And it's not like it's not a brag. I've got the experience. I've got the know-how. I've seen the difference in who I used to be to who I am now. I've Oh my goodness. Come on, give me another one. Don't shoot me. Or maybe you should. I ain't gonna run out of ammo. Oh! I know he getting upset. I would be. Wow, that was cool. But we're all tired, and I know that. Everyone I talk to is defeated. They are losing the game and they don't even know why. Because again, like I say, I thought I was good. I thought I knew it all. I was unstoppable when I was a teenager. I was wiser, or that was even, I was more wise than grown adults that I come across. I was more wise than my mom. Like that, like you can't explain that with logic. And there's just some things that it's faith. You can't rely on logic to explain some things because some things are bigger than us. That was a good game. Look at that. How we won, just the two of us. Just the two of us. See, I called BS. I think I should have got that one. We'll see. Also, I know it's more about the shirt duration. Okay, yeah, no, I definitely. Oh, who cares? It don't matter. But I, and he died in it too. Well, but I know I know that the message that I'm telling you will help you find the change your soul craves. The rest your soul craves. The rest that you crave, because we are not our bodies. We are our soul. That's why heartbreak it hurts so damn much, because that actually hurts you. That's deeper than just getting cut. Like I say, I've been through 2 motorcycle wrecks. I've stabbed myself in the hand more times than I can count with utility knives. I've sliced my hand open. I've had a brick go in my leg where I had to get 6 staples when I was 9. I've um like I've just been through like I busted my face open with a hammer. Like I've been through so many different physical injuries, but none of them can compare to like a heartbreak or to being misunderstood or feeling alone or to any of these spiritual attributes that people don't realize that we have. They think it's just normal and they try to ignore it. They just harden their heart and keep on keeping on. And it's like, no, that right there is not the answer. We have to change. We have to grow. We have to follow the path of Christ. Don't worship the man, because he even said in John, don't worship me, only worship the Father. The Father is the creator of all. He is the source of our strength. He is the all. He is in every one of us. Every one of us has a divine spark inside of us, but we forget it. We're born into a system that's fallen in order for us to learn good and bad. And you can't learn good and bad without forgetting who you are. and that's also just a part of the whole game. Like that's what makes it fun is rediscovering yourself. First, you go about your whole life learning all these different things from all these different people, and then the second phase is unlearning all those different things from all those different people and becoming who you're supposed to be, who you're meant to be, who you were designed to be. Yeah, but, but people people would rather sit in their filth instead of stepping up to the plate. Come on, either that or gonna go up top. Maybe up top. Oh shit. Yeah, I should have never went back. He definitely had position on that one. But again, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to apply what I say. But if you're tired, like the same kind of tired my dad expressed while he was fighting chemo after working in tile his whole life and raising 7 kids and doing it damn near on his own. Watching or having his brother commit suicide, having his other brother take advantage of him, if you catch my drift, as a kid in the worst way possible, or just all these different things. Like if you're that kind of tired, go. If you are at that level and you are ready to see change, then listen, apply. Just take it one step at a time, one choice at a time. Anytime you go, because you know right from wrong. You don't need to be told that you're doing something right or wrong. You've, I mean, most people, it's like, yeah. Now, some people, we, of course, we weren't taught certain things, hence why reading certain things like the scripture or, going to hear, and again, discern wisely, but going to hear certain men or teachers teach and to give you wisdom and knowledge about certain aspects, like that right there is all a part of your diet. Your diet is more than just your food. We have to move accordingly. We have to put into ourselves what we want to become. You sit there and you want to love people, you want to change, you want to grow, but you're sitting here listening to music about murder and sex and drugs, and it's not gonna happen. You're you're claiming a false message. You're you're trying to lie to the spirit. And that's the biggest thing about us coming to the Father is we have to come to the Father in spirit, but it's also in truth because He knows who we are. He knows what you do. He knows how you do it and how you fall short and that you're lost and that you need help. He understands that. He knows that. He's intertwined in His creation. He is a part of the all. But we we think we know best. We think we're taught the correct way to do things, not even realizing that our parents didn't know what they were doing. They were just kids having kids. And that's all that it is. See, like that right there is insane. Like who just runs around the corner and free fires? Like it takes no skill at all. But again, I think I'm a little more. I'm strict on myself. I'm my own worst enemy for sure. My own worst critic, I mean. But I played, man, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Ghosts. Like I played all these different games, like where you had to have skill to play. You couldn't just run around spraying and praying. Like, nah, you would have got laughed off of the damn server. People, man, people were so damn mean to each other back then. But that's also too, it's gonna be a controversial thing to say. But again, I don't care. But back when I was younger, there was a healthy amount of bullying. Not now. Today's world is different. Now it's like people go too far, but people got just enough to where they knew that there was something wrong. They were taught by their environment as well as their parents, but also back, early 2000s, there was more morals in the world. We were closer to the older generation, so we wasn't as far from the truth. And that's just a big thing now, man. We don't have morals no more. We don't have principles no more. Common sense is no longer common. But yet everybody just walk around like freaking everybody's like a damn ostrich who put their hand in the sand. Like, nah, you're living in a false reality. You're living in an illusion. And maybe it's because you think you're weak. Maybe because you think you can't do it. But that's a lie from the enemy. Couldn't be further from the truth. We are all what's the point of this? Oh shit, that's not. But we are all capable. We are all You're different. You're meant to be different. You have value that's going to add to the world and to this life and to this plane, but you have to fix your heart. You got to fix, because like I say, the heart, in my opinion, is the director to our story. It tells us what we want, tells us where we want to go, tells us what we want to do, who we want to be around, what we want to see, what we don't want to see. But most people, they felt to shut up. They harden it because for some reason it hurts. And it's like, huh, why not dig that into that a little deeper? Why does it hurt? Why do you have to why do you have to be false to yourself in order to live your life? Right. Well, because we're not taught correctly. We weren't I was last stuff, but we weren't guided the right way. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to essentially be a father for everybody. Okay. I remember that death. I definitely could have got him if I was paying a little more attention. But like what I say, what I'm trying to teach, what I'm trying to help, like it is a lot more important than what we but I've been blessed enough to been given the hard track of life, which again I think we all have because we're all in our own personal hells in my opinion. But I still feel I was given a harder track than most, along with my perception that was designed to learn as much as I can at in short of a window as possible. Yeah, I can back out. But again, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to accept it. But I am here to lead people correctly. I am here to be a father to the fatherless, be a leader to the leaderless, be a guide to those who were lost. But you have to be open for it. You have to apply what you hear. But I can't force that. I wish I could too. It breaks me It hurts me deeply that I can't help everyone, but I know I can help some. I know I've already helped some, and I'm still helping some. I'm helping people every day, but it's up to you to make the choice. But thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Please like, please subscribe, please share. And I mean, got any questions? Make a comment or just something to say, comment. I mean, I want to interact with people as much as virtually possible while I can. But it's just one of those things to where we can't force people to come into our life, stay in our life, listen to us, etc. We can only be truthful, be honest, be compassionate, be caring, be considerate, be loving, move with the right actions and right intentions. And it's just up to y'all to align with me or don't. Thank you. Love you. Peace.